Let's move to Tennessee, where the Titans appear to be gearing up to make a run at Tom Brady. According to ESPN's Dan Graziano and Adam Schefter, Tennessee should be among the frontrunners to land Brady in free agency, despite the fact that they just got a career year out of Ryan Tannehill. If you look at the numbers, despite New England's record, Tannehill outplayed the 42-year-old this year, winning 2 games in the playoffs, including beating the Patriots. He also had a much higher completion percentage and led the NFL in passer rating. I want to add my boy Jeff Darlington, also of ESPN, was someone that says Tennessee's a front runner. Is Brady a better option for the Titans than Ryan Tannehill?
Nope, not in the short term, not in the long term, not based on what we just saw in numbers. You talk about a Ryan Tannehill who tried to enter the MVP conversation late based on his late season performances, and he wasn't even brought in as the #1. He was brought in as a backup, went through the offseason as a backup, training camp as a backup. Now you have that MVP caliber type of half season, and you get to take him as your #1 into the offseason. Don't even think about Tom Brady, short term, long term. It's Ryan Tannehill.
I think it's Tannehill as well. I know you guys are sitting there thinking that I'm going to go with Tom Brady. But because I'm always honest. I mean, honestly speaking, I don't think that this is a better move to bring in Tom Brady.
Always honest.
I'm about to say, we just went to Vegas. He talking about he always
Go ahead, Pinocchio. I mean, go ahead.
You got potential. Tom Brady going to Tennessee has potential.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that Tannehill has done what he's needed to do, being brought into the situation that he was brought into. And you just moved on from Mariota. So to make that move, I would assume you would do it with someone that you can build into the future with, not a short-term play. So I don't like the move.
Yeah, he'd be a better option. The Tennessee Titans basically thrived in the late season, regular season, and in the playoffs because of Derrick Henry, not because of Ryan Tannehill. And if you look at the playoffs, they couldn't really throw the ball. They couldn't throw the ball effectively. If you get Tom Brady with that type of running game and that defense, as accurate as he is he a better option? Absolutely. You play good defense. They got a good O-line. They can run the ball. Tom Brady's going to put the ball on the money. They get 8-man fronts, single high safety. Tom Brady would eat that up.
I think TJ makes a fine point that has some truth to it, in terms of when you go look at Tannehill in the postseason, he backed off. He didn't have to do a lot because Derrick Henry did so much. But I think Tennessee's doing that calculus, that evaluation of, would Tom Brady be better for us in the postseason? Was this a guy that just had a nice run? Is he a different version of Nick Foles? Had a nice run, but should you really invest your future? And so for me, this all comes down to price. If Ryan Tannehill wants to take $23 million a year, 22, and Tom Brady's asking for 30 or more, Brady's not a better option if he's that much more expensive than Tannehill. If Tannehill's looking to break the bank and asking for money that's cost prohibitive, then Tom Brady is better rolling the dice, because I guarantee you what Tennessee's thinking, what Mike Vrabel's thinking, it's a win-now league. And it was like, damn, we were right there. And if we had better quarterback play against the Chiefs, might we have
just 1 or 2 completions. 1 or 2 completions, convert 1 or 2 third downs. That game against the Chiefs might go another way.
But you don't think that Tannehill can make those 1 or 2 completions? See, to me,
did he do
why
it?
Not? Well, he didn't this time. Did Wilder do it on Saturday? I mean, run it back.
Damn, you just compared him to Wilder. I don't want Tannehill.
I think, again, if you're 1 or 2 passes away, like, you know, we had this conversation about Garoppolo and a few other quarterbacks. You're 1 or 2 passes away from being where you need to be. That means, to me,
That's what separates the good from the great, though.
But if you're that close, why would you go away from that?
You don't want to risk it, because he's shown you. What do teams do? Kansas City stopped the run.
Yes.
Tannehill, you got to win this game. He couldn't do it, and now they're looking at it saying, if we got a chance to get Tom Brady.
I'm shocked to hear you say this, LeVar, because, like, you were a big play linebacker. And so there's some linebackers that made tackles. And well, the difference is LeVar's going to make that one big play. And that's what separates good from great.
But we're talking about in one situation, right? In that one game, he missed 1 or 2 plays that could have separated him.
He's had a 6-7-year career, LeVar.
True, but how many in Tennessee?
Well, and that's
his reemergence as a player, because coming out, he was a very high-profile player. going into Tennessee, it looked as though he was put in a situation where he could have success, the type of success, even though he had some in Miami, it wasn't the same type of setup that he had here in Tennessee. I think with that structure, he's all right.
Yeah, man. Look, diving into the numbers, look, you could say it was all Derrick Henry. It was a lot of Derrick Henry. It wasn't all Derrick Henry.
Majority.
Look, 21 out of 31, 209 against Kansas City. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Clean game, you want a little more, but you know what? You're not the reason we're losing this game. But then you look at Tom Brady in the postseason this year and last year.
But you gotta also,
more interceptions and touchdowns.
But you gotta look at
Stop acting like Tom Brady is so perfect in the postseason.
Show me when Tom Brady had a running back run for 180+ yards 2 games consecutively in the playoffs. Just show me that.
A.J. Brown.
And it makes it easy.
It does.
Tom Brady would kill for A.J.
Brown and Corey Davis as receivers.
Except the hypothetical never works out like we imagine it. Because when you have Tom Brady back there, all of a sudden you start taking touches away from Derrick Henry. All of a sudden you start to say, let's throw the ball to A.J. Brown in the ways that Tom Brady's more comfortable. Whereas Ryan Tannehill, maybe I would push the ball downfield a little more. I'm just looking at Tom Brady's postseason lack of success the last 2 years, and let's stop giving them Captain Clutch symbols all the time.
You just look at who he's playing with. That matters, man. That offensive line that's able to open up them holes for Henry. And then when there's nothing there, he opens it up himself. You get 8-man fronts, man. That's a single high safety. With those receivers and as accurate as Tom Brady, that's pitch and catch.
I just think I was disappointed with Tannehill in the postseason. He had elevated my expectations. Yeah. And then when there were a few plays, and even in the games they won, I was just like, I wanted a little more. And I think we even had a discussion.
We did.
About, like, man, you know, Derrick Henry did it all
who was
against Baltimore.
Yes.
And he didn't have to do a whole lot. And, you know, trust me, Tom Brady in that situation is going to he's going to contribute his part. And I know he's 42. But again, for me, this all comes down to price. I don't want to overpay for Ryan Tannehill. And if he's going to force me to overpay for him, then I'm like, look, I'm going to try to win a Super Bowl next year with Brady.
You get the cheaper one, you're going to get what you pay for, which is the cheaper one. And that's the thing. That's where I don't want to go upstairs to say whoever's the lesser of the two in value, because that's what I'm probably going to get. Ryan Tannehill is younger, so he deserves more because he has more of a runway. You can build on whatever you say his issues were, which was good enough to get you into the postseason where this team was left for dead before he took.
Would you take Ryan Tannehill because he's younger, or would you take Tom Brady for 2 years and he gets you to 1 Super Bowl?
I'm taking Tannehill because he's younger and because
Being
the first 2 games in the playoffs
doesn't mean he's going to have success.
But TJ, first 2 games in the playoffs, all Derrick Henry. And we were like, damn, can he even throw over 14 passes? Then they let him go. Where'd Derrick Henry go? See, the thing is, they didn't go together. So when Ryan Tannehill in the 3rd game, Kansas City, was a good game for Tannehill. Not great, but what did Derrick Henry have? A bad game.
Yeah.
So now you put Brady in there, you think always Derrick Henry's going to have a great game? What happens if he doesn't? Can Tom Brady, carry this team?
If you bring in a quarterback to groom under Tom Brady, I think that if you're not going to look at the guy you already have as being a long-term situation, then you make the move, because in the short term, I think Tom Brady can improve any team. But if you're looking at Tannehill and you're saying we want to try to go further and do this and we're not developing another quarterback.
And coaches is getting fired too often for you to look 4 or 5 years.
That's real.
Well, the other thing that I think could be going on here, and just throwing this in at the end, they could be flirting with Brady to force Tannehill's price down.
Like, booyah.
That's a smart ploy. Coming up, the Lakers missed out on Marcus Morris, but just landed his twin brother, Markieff. We'll tell you which one has a bigger impact, Marcus or Markieff. Next, Speak for Yourself is presented by